Hello everyone. This week we are talking about a book titled Principles by Ray Dalio. The book tries to explain why we need principles in our lives and what the author thinks are certain life principles that he applies to his day in day out decision making, and what are the certain management principles that he has inculcated in his firm that he founded. About the author, Ray Dalio is an American billionaire hedge fund manager and a philanthropist as well. And he founded the Bridgewater Associates, which is a huge hedge fund, it's the largest hedge fund in the world. Moving on to the summary of this book, the book is broken into three parts. The first part is about describing why do we need principles. Second one is key top 2 to 3 life principles, and the last one is about the Bridgewater case. Starting with the definition of principles, he calls them as simple values basically, and principles help you live a consistent life, and they act as a beacon and guide you in terms of critical decision making points throughout your life. Without principles, you would otherwise be reacting to the situations which you are unaware of. Not every situation would be known to you, which means that when the situation exposes itself to you, you would take a very on the spot decision, and the outcome could be very unexpected, and hence principles becomes key. The principles could be forged from life's experiences by synthesizing what has happened to you in the past, or you could pick up principles from other people's experiences as well as this. The only counterpoint to that is those principles that are designed by other people have come out of a different set of experiences, and you need to know the context before you apply that in a situation that happens in your life. Now, what are the fundamental life principles that the author talks about? Few key points quickly. First one he says is truth. Very simply put, he says truth, and he says one needs to understand the reality accurately and be sure of what is truth. He says there is nothing called as good or bad. It is truth versus untruth. Say for example, in nature there is this case of a pack of hyenas hunting a wildebeest. Now, is it good or bad? One might say it is bad, but that is how nature operates, and hence that is the truth. So there is nothing bad about it. The hyenas do what they have to do, and hence that is the truth, is the author's point. So one needs to understand the reality / truth very clearly in our lives. The second point is the whole world moves forward because of the principle of seeking / evolution. And hence, for someone to be very successful, one needs to learn and adapt to what is happening around him, around the moving world, around the world that is evolving, for one to be successful. Now, there is pure reality. The author talks about if you want to think about only reality, that is not the situation. You can of course have dreams. Now, how do we move from reality to dreams? The author says for you to go towards a dream, you need to understand reality very thoroughly. The moment you do that, you know what are your shortcomings, what is that you need to achieve your dream, and hence create a plan around it and move towards it. Of course, when you move towards it, you will experience pain, and then you can choose whether to fight or flight when the pain happens. And successful people absorb the pain, synthesize from the pain as to what is required for them to overcome the pain and move towards the reality, move towards the dream. So there is reality, there is dream, and then there is a pain in between. So these are the three key points that he talks about in this part. The other key point he talks about is don't fake clarity. If you are unsure, if you have vulnerabilities, if you have weaknesses, be open to exposing them. Only when you acknowledge that there is a weakness, you can improve upon and move forward. And he says that your life should be in the form of a machine. there is your current state of things, and then there is your goal, and then there's something in between, wherein you have a certain design and people working towards or helping you towards moving towards from your current state to your end state of achieving your goal. And hence this has to be a machine, and you have to keep pruning the machine to improve its efficiency. So you have a current form of a machine, you work on it, you see an outcome which is far away from the goal that you want to achieve. Hence you have a feedback loop coming back, and you tweak on its design / the people that are part of this design, part of this machine, and hence you improve the working and the efficacy of the machine. That is how this whole book and the thought process is built by the author. Then he talks about 5 key steps that one needs to follow in order to achieve the goals in life, which is a subsection of the machine system that I just spoke about, wherein he talks about having clear goals. Right, you need to define goals very, very clearly, crisply, succinctly, etc. We all know about SMART goals and all of that. So, goal definition is very important. Now, from the current state to go towards the goal, you will be exposed to a lot of problems. So, don't think of solution to those problems before defining the problems very clearly. Take a step back, understand and succinctly write what are the problems that you will face if you have to reach the goal independently, without even thinking about what the goal is. Then diagnose the problem, do a root cause, pick each of the problems, ask 5 whys, understand the root cause of the problems, why that is happening, be very clear about what the cause is and not just the symptom that is exposed to us outside. So go to the root of the problem, and then figure out how do you circumnavigate these problem statements, or how do you solve the problems, create a task plan around it, and get the problem solved. This is just a plan, and then you have to execute it, of course. When you execute it, you will face another problems. How do you tackle those, etc. is the point. These are general points that we anyways otherwise know in terms of problem solving, right? So 2 key points we have just spoken about are the mission setting, achieving your goals, and the 5-step process to achieving your goals, right? The last portion of the book moves towards the key principles that he tries to inculcate in Bridgewater Associates. There are a lot of principles he talks about here. This forms the meaty portion of the book actually, but a lot of it is known to us otherwise generally, while we read other books as well, and nothing new about it. I will just touch upon few key points which I think are important that we need to keep reminding ourselves upon. The first thing is about getting the culture right in the company. He talks about truth, honesty and integrity being the cornerstones or pillars of your company. If you remember in the Netflix story as well, we spoke about radical honesty. Right, so this point keeps coming back again and again through multiple companies who have been successful. Second point is about getting people right. He says people are built differently. Don't expect everybody to act and behave the same way and react to your problem statements the same way. They are different. You have to keep that in mind when you deal with the people. Penalties of wrong hiring is very, very high. So take your time if need be and hire the right person, not just for the skills, but the will and the attitude of the person is very important, and keep those as your guardrails when you hire people. And then designing and operating as a machine, which I spoke about, applies to companies as well. Think about what you want to achieve as a company. Within the company also there is a design and there's people involved, etc. The construct remains the same. It's just that a group of people will have a common goal and you're moving towards it, and the machine works like this. And he keeps talking about whenever you face a problem, think about solving the problem in 2 ways. One is tactical problem solving, immediately closing the fire, putting out the fire, etc. But then take a step back and think about it as a malfunction of the machine, and see how you can fix the machine once for all for long term, right? The other thing about getting people right is probe deep and hard your people to understand the outcome that is going to generate, that the machine is going to generate, because otherwise you would have to wait till the outcome comes out, and then it could be delayed for you to take the right call, etc. Very important point that I liked in this is about evaluating people accurately and not kindly. Think about every other evaluation that you do with your people as an opportunity for you to interview them or assess them. You have to keep asking the question of, will you hire this person into your company again every other time when you are evaluating this person. So there's nothing about being cruel / kind, it's about being accurate when you evaluate people. The third point he talks about is around perceiving, diagnosing and solving problems. So he talks about having methods to perceive problems before they become big is an important art / talent that we need to inculcate in teams. You can't wait for the volcano to erupt and then look for measures to solve the problem. The other thing is about diagnosing to understand what the problem is asymptotic of. Basically, you could have a root cause that is causing the issue, so you need to have methods and principles to understand what is causing the issue. The third portion is on decision making. Make all decisions with reason and logic only, don't go by emotions, etc. We know about all of these things, but I'm just emphasizing it. The 80-20 principles, Pareto principle, maximum bang for the buck comes from the Pareto set of problem statements, so look for them. And other thing he talks about is about synthesizing. You in a firm you will see a wide variety of issues, wide variety of people coming to you with problem statements. So as a leader you need to have the ability to synthesize all of that and drive the team. You can't just always be taking tactical decision. That is where the concept of machine, understanding of the team as a machine comes into picture, etc. Right. With this we'll close the summary of the book. I'll talk about key takeaways from this book. The first point is around being radically honest and truthful about our understanding of reality. Only when we understand and acknowledge that this is what reality is and this is what is happening today, will we have a clear view of what we want to achieve and where we want to go. The second point is around the concept of machine. In life as well as in work, one can think of moving towards our goal and the problems that we face in short term and long term. Short term we can immediately solve the problem, but long term tweaking our ways of working, our behaviors is very, very important, and hence the concept of machine and treating life as a game and playing according to the rules of the game and improving your behavior becomes very important. And the last portion is around the concept of moving towards your dream from the current state of reality. Initially I was apprehensive that he keeps talking about truth, honesty, etc. and all of that, but then humans have always dreamt of larger things, and hence can we not dream at all if we are stuck to the concept of reality? And that is where the author says dreaming is very, very important, but understanding of reality much more clearer and solid helps you to reach that dream, right? With that we come to the end of this week's review and summary. I'll catch up with you with another interesting book the next week. Till then, goodbye.